This video provides a quick overview of model-based custom entity types and how you set them up. When you create a model-based entity type, you train a model to identify the entity type values. Model-based entity types are useful when there are a large number of possible values that do not have a standard format. For custom entity types that have fewer or more standardized values, you can create a regex-based entity type. Let's take a quick tour of a completed model-based entity type and describe each step of the setup process. Our custom entity type identifies names of medical facilities. The first step is to select a small set of test files that contain example values for the entity type. Based on your initial description of the entity type, Textual attempts to detect those values. You then review the files to correct the detections and establish the definitive set of values in the files. Next, you iterate over the model guidelines. Model guidelines are essentially AI prompts to tell Textual how to identify the values. Textual uses each version of the guidelines to detect entity values in the test files. Assigned scores indicate how well the guidelines performed. Textual also provides recommendations to improve the guidelines. When you are satisfied with at least one version of the guidelines, you can start model training. You first select a set of training files. The training data is much larger than the test data and should contain at least 1,000 examples of entity values. When the training data is in place, you can create and train models. Each model is based on a selected version of the guidelines. The model trains on the training data. Model training can take a long time. When the training is complete, the model detects values in the test data and is assigned a score to indicate how well it performed. You then select a trained model to be the active model for the entity type. To recap, a model-based custom entity type uses a trained model to identify the entity values. To start, you assemble a small set of test data and identify the definitive values in that data. You then iterate over guidelines, which are AI prompts to tell the model how to identify entity values. After you select a larger set of training data, you create and train models. Each trained model is scored based on how well it identifies values in the test data. And that concludes our introduction to model-based custom entity types. You can find more information in the Textual guides, blogs, webinars, and user documentation.